Hey everybody, Logan here. Today we're covering a new controller. Well, if you've been following the stick drift issue for a while, you know there's a company that came out with a controller called the NYXI Wizard. It's spelled NYXI. I call it NYXI. I think that's how I've heard it pronounced. But it's a brand that uses the Hall effect joysticks so they don't get the drift. So they recently came out with this one that replaces the Joy-Con on your Switch with two GameCube style ones. I covered it quite some time ago. I never purchased it myself. A number of big YouTubers, I think Bob Wolf and a couple of others, maybe Kevin Kenson, if I'm remembering correctly, purchased them or were sent them, I don't know, but they covered them. I decided to look into other products that NYXI has developed or come out with, or just made, if you will, for the Nintendo Switch that do not have stick drift, that have these Hall effect Joy-Con or joysticks, if you will. So that leads me to this controller. So this is the NYXI Chaos. I got this on Amazon. They have it in black and in white. The black was sold out. The white was the one that caught my eye anyway, so I was like, okay. Now it actually has RGB, look at me, effects around the joystick, which I don't think is that big of a deal, but cool. And it's for Nintendo Switch Lite and the OLED. So if you do have a Lite, these things can connect. You can sit it into a third-party dock or something that sits up the light in a stand, so you can actually look at it as like a TV, if you will. So we're going to test this on my Switch OLED, see how it feels. Now the only thing is, I wish I could test it for a very long period of time to see stick drift. Now, some people are going to be mad at me because I've never had stick drift. Never. Now that I say that, watch me. But I've had multiple Joy-Con, no drift. My wife has had her Animal Crossing Switch for quite some time. No drift. I've had the same Pro controller since it's come out. No drift. People have claimed that they've had them on the Xbox Series X controllers and PS5. Never had those problems. I don't know. Maybe it's because I have so many different controllers that I switch between. I don't know. I've had the Legend of Zelda Joy-Con, the blue ones, for quite some time. Those have been my main driver on my OG Switch. The ones that if you ever see me do any Switch game capture, it's on that Switch. So I don't know. But let's open this up. Let's test it out. Let's see if it's any good. Let's see how it feels for a controller that has Hall effect joysticks. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, the NYXI Chaos wireless controller. Now, it shows the color differences. Palette, breathe, rainbow, breathe. I'm not sure what that means. I think when it says palette, it's going to look like that. Breathe, I'm guessing it fluctuates, like if you're breathing rhythm, I guess. And then the rainbow does the palette with the breathing. I'm just assuming. So that's the side of the box, that's the back. Now if you look at it, it has multiple colors, anti-friction rings for smoother motion, turbo function, Hall effect joystick, TPU grip, 500 mAh battery capacity, one button to connect to the console, which is a sync, and 4 advanced gaming buttons. So it's got those flappy paddle trigger thing buttons in the back, which I cannot stand, but we'll take a look at that. Now, the thing is, nowhere does it say it has rumble, and nowhere does it say it has NFC for Amiibo support. I doubt it had Amiibo support. Now, as you can see, I got it from Amazon. This was on sale. I got it for, I want to say it was $36. It was on sale for it. Had a 5% coupon or something, but it was $36. So let's open it up. Now, one thing that was weird, it didn't come with any seal. Came with them on the bottom, that one there, but nothing here. So I did not open it already. waiting to do that for this video, of course. So, oh, there you go. Does come with a cable, which is nice. That's a beefy instruction booklet. All right, so there's nothing else in there. Okay, so it gives you a little warning right there. After receiving the controller, be sure to use the USB data cable to charge it once. The 4 LED lights flash at the same time to indicate that the controller has been activated. Note, if the controller is not activated, the buttons have no function. Okay. You know what? That's an interesting design. That feels like any of those random third-party controllers that you would buy for the like PS4 these days. So let's take this off. Let's see how it feels, and then we will take a moment. I will give it some charge, and then we will test it. Let's put that over there. All right, so that's the look of the controller itself. It's not bad, but it does remind me of those janky third-party PS4 controllers just because of the texture. Now, the weight, it's got a good weight to it. It's not overly heavy, but it's not overly light. The texture is nice. It's more of a less of a white, more of a pearl. I don't know how well you can tell in the camera, but it's more of a pearl. It's got that pearlescence kind of look to it when you're seeing it in person. Now, it's got one problem which I didn't notice. Well, it may not be a problem to most people, but it's a problem to me. I don't like the texture around the sticks like that. It's annoying for me. I'm just not a big fan of that texture. D-pad is solid. Buttons are a little too flat. They don't feel smooth. Not terrible. Not terrible. Shoulder buttons feel like shoulder buttons. Type-C, that's good. Like I said, so is that the sync button? Yes, that's going to be the sync button. And there's nothing there. So we're going to have to look on how you program these unless they come pre-programmed. That's what I'm worried about because I don't see anything. We got the home button. We got the turbo, which turbo is always going to be used by pressing this and then hitting that button. And then ba 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 ba. That's how every turbo works unless it's designated differently. But anything here, you've got your capture button right here, your minus and your plus, and then of course their little logo. That design reminds me more of an Xbox One controller. I don't know if you guys remember how it had that divot before, but that feels nice. It actually, when it says no friction, it's super smooth. Super smooth. So for a $30 some odd controller, it looks promising at the moment. I want to say that's a light right there. We'll find out in just a moment. Wireless controller, there it goes. So if you're holding it in the back, those aren't as comfortable to press because you're hitting it with this. So if you're holding it back here, you got to press it that way. So that's a little awkward, but these aren't bad. I'll give it that. What is it? M1 and M2 buttons, M3 and M4. It's more like a rocker. I don't know if I'd actually ever use those, but it's not uncomfortable. So let's see. Does it have any power? I don't think it has any power whatsoever. Nope. So it has to be charged. So we will pause for a second. Well, for you, it's going to be like, boop. Alrighty. So here we go. What I did, I had to use a different cable because the other one wasn't long enough. It's cool, the fact that you can do this. It's plugged into the dock of the Switch, but my Switch is right here. Now, what I did was went into the controller pairing options. If you just hold that, it will rumble. This does have rumble. Even though it doesn't say it, it does. So as you can see, that's how the lights light up and they do the breathing rotation. It recognizes it as a Pro controller. So we'll go out. And there we go. Yeah, it definitely has rumble. It's got some intense rumble. It's not HD rumble. Let's see what the instruction booklet says. Button distribution map, product specifications, how to connect to the Nintendo Switch. Let's see, charging instructions, low voltage alarm, turbo function, vibration adjustment function. Okay, so it does have that. Custom key setting, that's the one we're going to go to. Left, right, 3D rocker aperture light effect adjustment. We'll check that afterwards. So page 11 and 12, because everything else we were able to do on its own. Custom key settings. Okay. All right. Single key mapping operation. That is for... Okay, so the same thing. You have to hold down the turbo button. Let's see. When connecting to host, press M1 key while holding down the turbo key. After releasing it, it will enter M1 key custom state, the 4-channel indicators. Okay. Macro definition operation. That is a little complicated, but I'm sure, well, they make it look complicated. But I don't think that is. I just think they're overly expressive. Yes. Yeah. Hold on. Let's go back to this. The 4 custom key settings, M1, M2, M3, and M4 on the back of the handle can be divided into 2 functions, single key mapping and macro definition. All right. So macro, it just allows you to do multiple inputs. So let's try the standard one first. All right. We'll do this. We're here. We're here. So if I hold that turbo button, that flashes. There we go. Okay, so it rumbled. I hit this one, and then I'm going to hit that. There we go. Okay, I'm doing something wrong, but I'm not sure. Let's see. When connecting to the host, press the M1 key while holding 2, 3, or 4 down the turbo key. I did that. After releasing it, it will enter M1 key custom state. The 4-channel indicators of the handle light will handle light up and then go out, which happened. Core and the light of one of the bottom again quickly 4-channel corresponding to M2, M4, M3, M1 from the top button. After entering the custom state of the M1 key, press the A key. The lighted indicator will flash once. The A key has been mapped to M1. Okay, so it looks like only certain ones. Let me look at that. Has mapped to the M1. The M1 key again to exit custom state. The 4-channel lights will restore following the above the M2, M3. So I'm guessing M1, which would be this one, can only be mapped to A. Interesting. Let's try that. So if you do that, then hit that. All right. See, it changed there. Then hit A. It flashed. Okay. So let me see. What would Y correspond to? So I don't see what would Y correspond to. Because if that goes there, this is Interesting. Okay, so A can only be mapped to there. So if I hold this and hold this one, there we go. That looks like it's mapped. Yes. Okay, so Y can be mapped here. That is a weird way to map because that's the same thing I did for A. A wasn't allowing me to map to there. So it looks like you can only map to corresponding buttons. I guess that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's 1, 2. That's confusing because it did not allow me to map A to Y to here. Let me try this again. This is going on a little longer than I thought it should because it's not mapping the same way. Hold this. Hold that one. So now I'm holding this one on the back right here. And then, okay, so as soon as you release it, you got just a finite amount of time. So we're going to try that again. Hold that. Hold the back button. All right, it lights up, it rumbles. There we go. It didn't work. But this one will. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to figure another way to do that because it works if you're doing it with certain buttons. And I read that twice, and it seems like you can only map it to specific buttons, but that doesn't make any sense. And then the macro would be the same thing when you connect it with a combo. Left, right. Okay. Hold down the turbo and click in the L3 or R3 button once. The light effects is 8 kinds of single colors plus 1 kind of magic color. A total of 9 colors. All right, so it says hold the turbo and then click in. There we go, it rumbles. Yeah, it changed. So don't let go of the turbo in order to do that. All right, so it's going to rumble. And now it's just constantly vibrating. That's weird. There we go. See the light changed again? All right, we'll keep doing that. There we go. There we go. And as you can see, if you keep doing that, it'll go through and change that. We're going to leave it at red because red. So, yeah. A little more complicated than I expected, but just it's one of those. If you thoroughly read the instructions, you'll get the hang of it. I probably would have gotten that a little easier, I guess you could say, if I was paying attention and solely not recording or something like that. But it doesn't seem that hard. Just read it a little better than I did. So these have Hall effect. Let's move that out of the way. Smooth. Okay, now that's one thing I don't like. There, no delay. Listen to that. There's delay there. Don't like that. Ignore the mapped buttons. I don't like those. Maybe it's just my controller, but there is an input delay. Yeah. Okay. Movement seems to be fine. That seems to be fine. The sticks are really smooth. I will give it that. Everything feels fine, except for those mapped buttons. So this is the NYXI Chaos Pro controller. That white is definitely a pearl. Yeah, got a little box lint there. But if you have any questions, I'm still going to use this over the next period of days to continue playing Tears of the Kingdom, see how I feel about it. Drop any questions you have in the comments down below, and I'll continue to answer. I'm going to continue messing with the lights and the turbo function, see if I can get it to perform any better. Let's put it that way. And I'll see if maybe right now there's just a delay because of any other circumstances here, but there's no delay here. I don't know, maybe because it's plugged in and charging. I don't know. There shouldn't be delay for that. So, we're going to keep using this one. Just ask me questions. I'll be glad to answer them. This is going to be my steady driver for a while. And no, that is not light on the top. So I thought it was. You can actually see the light on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see it there. There you go. See it? But no, that is not light. So I thought that was. So yeah, otherwise it feels nice. The rumble's nice. No NFC. Let's take a look one more time before we close out the video to see if it says if it has any NFC. Button map distribution. No. Nothing on the button mapping or anything like that. No, but it is a Bluetooth controller. So it comes in multiple languages. Again, ask me questions. I will answer them to the best of my ability. I will continue using this over the next few days, maybe even few weeks, as my daily driver, just so I can answer more questions. Because a lot of people have been talking about this NYXI brand lately. So, like I said, you can pick this up on Amazon. The white is the one that's currently available. I'm sure they'll have black back in soon. But as of right now, this is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, any questions, ask me in the comments below and I'll answer to the best of my ability. Thank you guys. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.